tomorrow is a day called Ekadashi here in the ashram, and it's supposed to be beneficial to fast on that day.
If you watch the natural cycles of the body, based on this natural cycle, once in one mandala, that is one mandala is 40 to 48 days, in these 48 days, 3 days will happen where your body does not need food. If that awareness is not there as to which day that is, for that in India they fixed what is called as Ekadashi. That means 4 days before the full moon, 4 days before the new moon day.
So people don't eat. They just wake up in the morning and no breakfast, no lunch. And once the sun settles down, then they break their fast with just one meal. And it's a really, really good and a healthy practice because it allows your entire body, your entire system to realign itself, to cleanse itself. So every once in a while, if you give that break to your body, your entire system, it's really, really very good and very healthy for your whole body, the whole system, the way it functions. Because every once in a while, this kind of a rest or a break is needed by your body to cleanse itself, to purify itself, to rejuvenate and strengthen itself, and to also balance its hormonal profile, oxytocin, cortisol, which is your stress hormone, then all your other hormones which are directly linked to your stress hormone, which is the cortisol. One very important hormone is the insulin hormone. Then you have estrogen, progesterone and testosterone. All these hormones are very deeply interlinked with each other. So one hormone tips off the balance means that the other hormones also fall off balance. So this break is needed every once in a while to also balance out your hormonal profile. And apart from all these physical benefits, there are mental and spiritual benefits as well. We are going to touch upon them just a little later. But just think about it from a physical point of view alone. Just think of your body, your system as just a physical system. Every day we are constantly eating food. We are constantly feeding our bodies. Every day we wake up and eat food, eat food, eat food. There's a lot of hard work which is happening inside the body. Your body needs to spend a lot of energy on digesting this food and then assimilating all the nutrients and then excreting the toxins which are produced as byproducts of this digestion. Sometimes there are toxins present in food right from the start. So there's a lot of hard work which is being done by the body. So it's a great idea to give it a break every once in a while, to halt this process, to pause this process so that the body and your system can get some extra time to readjust and cleanse itself. Now let's talk about the spiritual significance. What is the spiritual significance of doing this practice altogether? So one thing is there, yes, the body needs time to realign and readjust itself. But think of this process as also a cleansing process. This process allows your body the time to purify itself from the inside out. The entire physical body gets purified from the inside out, which is a great thing. And when your whole body is purified and it is clean of all the toxins, purified from all the impurities, you feel more rejuvenated. You feel as if you have revived. So it is a cleansing process. And because of this cleansing process, your body starts to feel more vibrant, more energized. And when your body feels more vibrant, you feel a certain inclination to indulge in a spiritual practice. If your body does not feel vibrant, you will not feel like doing anything which is spiritual. So on those particular days when you are not eating, what are you doing? You are not burdening your body with copious amounts of food. So the body does not have to spend extra energy on digesting this food. Because digestion is a process which consumes a lot of energy for itself to happen. So I would say that digestion is a highly energy consuming process in itself. Although food is something which is meant to provide you with energy, but the process of digesting that very food is consuming a lot of energy. Digestion is a highly energy consuming process. It's a high energy consumption process. So on days when you are actually not eating anything at all, your body has a lot of energy inside itself to indulge in other processes such as realignment of the hormonal profile, processes such as cleansing and purification. And once your whole body feels cleansed, you feel more vibrant. Otherwise, what happens when you keep eating food day after day, day in, day out, breakfast, lunch, snacks from time to time, and then dinner, and then post-dinner snacking, midnight snacking, late night snacking? What is happening to your body? You're constantly feeding your body with food. There's so much food sitting inside your belly, and your body needs to spend so much of extra energy in just processing and digesting all that food. So what happens when you're eating so much? There's lethargy. There's a certain amount of lethargy which is developing in your body. Now, for a meditator, for the yogi, the biggest enemy is sleep. For me to be able to just sit here with my eyes closed and being fully alert in a meditative state, that's very important. For most of the people, if they just sit down and just close their eyes trying to meditate, they will just fall asleep. So sleep is the biggest enemy for any meditator. So to be able to sit here just with my eyes closed and being completely alert and meditating, it's very important. And that can only happen when every once in a while you are willing to give that certain break to the body so that it can realign itself and become more cleansed and more vibrant. That vibrance is very, very essential to be able to indulge in any form of a spiritual practice, whether it be pranayam or whether it be any guided visualization or a guided meditation or just a meditation by yourself sitting alone in a room. So vibrance is needed, otherwise lethargy may take over. That is why you see so many people around you who sit down to meditate or who lie down to get ready for meditation. But during the course of the meditation, as they are in the process of meditating, what do you observe? Most of these people tend to fall asleep. And they don't look at this as a problem. They feel that, meditation must have really relaxed me, and so I fell asleep. Sometimes, yes, it may happen, but not always. Meditation or any spiritual practice is supposed to make you feel more vibrant, more alert, and more aware. That is the purpose of meditation. But because of this lethargy inside your body, as you relax, you tend to fall asleep, which should not be happening. So for me to be able to just sit here fully alert, fully aware of myself, but with my eyes closed, takes a certain amount of vibrance in my body, isn't it? And to make my body more vibrant and more purified and more cleansed every once in a while, it is essential for me to give my body that much needed rest and break. Yes, much like our minds, our bodies also need a break from eating food, digesting food, assimilating food, and then excreting the toxins. Whenever we give this physical break to the body, the body is able to utilize its energy not for digestion but for realignment of all its biochemical processes, readjustment and rebalancing of the entire hormonal profile, and most importantly, cleansing. Because cleansing and purification ultimately leads to an enhancement of energy and vibrance in the body, which is very important for any spiritual process. So, fasting essentially is not just a complete spiritual process, rather, it is a process which gives you a certain kind of an environment, a certain kind of a physical, bodily environment which is conducive to a spiritual process. So, every once in a while, fasting here and there is really, really important to allow that break to your body so that it can readjust itself and cleanse itself and make itself more able, make itself more capable of undertaking a spiritual process. Ideally, there should be a gap of minimum 8 hours between 2 meals so that you can give your body that sufficient amount of time to break down and digest the food that you have eaten. So between 2 meals, a gap of 8 hours would be ideal. But going by your circumstances and your situations, if an 8-hour gap is not possible, then minimum 5 hours gap should be maintained, because you need to allow your body a certain amount of time to digest your food completely. And before your next meal, you should feel a certain amount of real physical hunger. I'm not talking about emotional hunger here, which is totally different from the physical hunger. And your body is the best judge of physical hunger. You know, your mind has its own ways. It can act funny sometimes and it can literally convince you that you are hungry when you are actually not. So I would suggest that you allow your body to take its own course and just follow the natural rhythm of your body. Your body knows what's best for itself, and your body will tell you through biological signs when it is genuinely hungry. So you should have a certain genuine physical hunger inside you before you indulge in your next meal. Because if you get into the habit of eating when you are not actually hungry, then your body will never know what true vibrance is, and it will forever be bogged down with copious amounts of food in the system, and it will slowly become more and more lethargic because it has to process so much food, it has to digest so much food, it has to undertake so much of a digestion process, which by itself is so energy consuming. So if you want to feel a certain vibrance in your body, you have to make sure that you are eating only when you are truly hungry. How will you find out whether you are truly hungry or not? Trust me, nature knows the best. Your body knows the best. And nature will tell you in its own way. Your body, your stomach will tell you in its own way when your body is truly hungry. You will know it, you will feel it, nobody has to teach it to you. Although society and our cultures have taught us to eat certain meals at certain times of the day. So you should get up, and even if you're not feeling hungry, have a breakfast. If you're not feeling hungry at 12 o'clock, still you've got to have lunch at 12 o'clock. If you're not feeling hungry but you're just used to having an evening snack around 5 o'clock, if it is just becoming a habit and you are having an evening snack at 5, not because you're hungry but because it's a habit, then that's a wrong sign. Similarly, if you're just in the habit of eating dinner at 8 o'clock but still not feeling hungry at 8 o'clock but still having dinner, then that's again a wrong practice. Certain meal patterns, certain eating habits have been taught to us by the society. So we have to unlearn those eating patterns. We have been taught by our parents, by our relatives, to eat at certain times of the day, even when you are not feeling hungry. So you've got to unlearn all of that. And now you should learn to listen to the real biological signs which are being given to you by the body. So eat when you feel genuinely hungry, and after eating, maintain a time gap of at least 5 hours, and ideally, if you can, 8 hours. And trust me, slowly, your body will start to regain its original vibrance, which it might have lost. So, if you are somebody who is above 30 years of age, 2 meals a day, according to yoga, according to its sister science of Ayurveda, are enough and sufficient for you. However, if you are younger, you are a kid, or you are a teenager, an adolescent, you are in that rapidly growing phase of yours and your body is exhibiting signs of rapid growth, you are in that growing phase of your life, then yes, you can stick to proper 3 meals during the day. But as a fully grown adult who is 30 years of age or beyond that, 2 meals a day are sufficient for your body. 2 meals a day are sufficient for your body to process, to digest completely, and to assimilate all the nutrients from these 2 meals. So make sure that you consume 2 meals a day, and also make sure that these 2 meals are simple, local. The foods have been sourced locally. They are all seasonal foods. And make sure that your meals are home cooked, fresh, simple meals, and all the ingredients that you are using are, like I said, locally sourced, and all your ingredients should also be in the season in the market. So, sticking to 2 simple home cooked meals is the best policy for your body, and make sure that all the ingredients in your kitchen are local and seasonal. So, human vibrance can have completely different levels and completely different dimensions. In fact, it can carry you to completely different dimensions of experiences and living altogether. So keeping this body well, keeping this body healthy is a fundamental requirement of life.
Somehow on this day, I feel that the need for food is not as much as it is on other days. So reducing the food intake definitely helps to clean the system, and it also gives rest to the digestive system.
So we fast for 24 hours and break the fast in the night with a particular kind of meal which is more gentle on the system, made up of kanji, papaya, chutney, and cooked vegetables.
Every morning before we do our morning practices, we have Neem and Turmeric with tepid light honey water. Now Sadhguru says this has a lot of medicinal benefits and is very supportive for yogic sadhana.
Anything that you borrow from this planet is bound to create a certain amount of inertia in your body. So what is important is that you become aware of this, and then you try to make sure that you keep these inertia levels at their minimum in your body. See, the progress of your sadhana or your spiritual practice or your meditation practice is always gauged by how much you sleep and how alert you are. And these things are always directly proportional to the level of inertia in your body. So if your body is generating too much inertia, then obviously something is wrong and you need to do something about it. Now, the reason why inertia is generated in your body is that your body does not allow this energy, this vital life energy, which we also call as prana. It does not allow this prana and the other nutrients to reach the various cells of the body. It does not allow this energy to reach the cellular level of the body. Now, there can be two things associated with this entire situation. One thing which is associated is food. Again, as I discussed in the other part of the video, eating too much food, loading your body with copious amounts of food food, so that your body is expending a lot of energy in just breaking down and digesting this food. Now, this process of digestion itself leaves very little time and energy for the body to actually assimilate the nutrients and transport this energy and nutrients to the cells of the body naturally. Another thing which is associated with this situation is a very potent mixture which is highly advised by Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev ji also. And this mixture is that of neem and turmeric. This neem and turmeric mixture works like a very effective dilator. It just dilates your entire body and makes this energy and these nutrients available to all the cells and all the crevices in the body. Now, I'm not saying that this neem and turmeric mixture is the only way to dilate your body and to make this energy available at the cellular level. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that this neem and turmeric mixture is the only solution to reduce the inertia in your body. No, nothing like that. Your sadhana is already doing that. Your spiritual or your meditation practice is already working really effectively to dilate the whole body and to reduce this inertia in your body. But what I'm trying to say is that neem and turmeric mixture is a very effective and a great physical supporting system which further aids in dilating the entire body and making this prana available to the body at the cellular level. So every day in the morning on an empty stomach, if you can start consuming this neem and turmeric mixture along with mild honey laced water, warm water with just a little bit of honey. This entire concoction is a very magical potion which creates a lot of beneficial changes in your body, especially if you consume this as the first thing on an empty stomach every morning. First of all, it definitely works very effectively in cleansing your entire system, cleansing your whole body and detoxifying your liver, so that you start to feel more energized and vibrant. Naturally, when there are less toxins in the body and your body is less burdened with toxins and impurities, your body starts to feel more light simply because there is less burden on the body. And then your body starts to feel more light and more vibrant and more energized as a result of less toxins in the body. The second thing which this mixture does is that it really enhances the total energy level of the body. That is also very important to carry out any spiritual practice. And then this entire concoction also makes your body more flexible. It enhances the flexibility of your muscles, and this in turn helps with your physical practice of yoga, your asana practice. Suddenly, during your yoga practice, you may realize that your body has cracked open into a completely different level or a completely different dimension of energy. And that can be a very surreal experience in itself. Another thing which this concoction does is, like I've already told you, is that it dilates your entire body and it makes this energy and these nutrients available to the body at the cellular level. So what happens is that suddenly this energy, this vital pranic life force and all these nutrients become more bioavailable to all the cells of the body. What do I mean by bioavailability? Bioavailability is a phenomenon by which all these nutrients become more bioavailable to the cells of the body, so that these cells are in a better position to absorb this energy and these nutrients from the bloodstream. And lastly, this amazing potent concoction just builds your body, just builds your system into a more powerful possibility. Apart from neem and turmeric, another very magical concoction which you can try every morning on an empty stomach is a glass of warm water with lemon, honey, and freshly ground black pepper from home. So just take a glass of lukewarm water Add half a lemon to it and just a pinch of freshly ground black pepper and of course honey to taste as you might like it. Some like it less sweet, some like it more sweet. So honey as per taste. Now this is a very magical potion which you can have every morning on an empty stomach. And the key is to really place focus on a very special ingredient here, which is piperine. Now piperine is a very potent and a very bioactive ingredient which is found in freshly ground black pepper. And in fact, it is the one which is highly responsible for imparting that strong and pungent smell and flavor to black pepper. Now, piperine is a magical ingredient. It's literally magical. It is so potent, I can't tell you. Piperine is not just a magical bioactive ingredient. In fact, we like to call piperine as a magical key that opens many doors. And of course, apart from having several other health benefits, one very notable power is its unique ability to increase the bioavailability. What do I mean by bioavailability? It is its power, it is its ability to increase or enhance the availability of other bioactive compounds in the cells of the body. So piperine from black pepper, and what it does is that it enhances the bioavailability or the absorption of other bioactive compounds into all the cells of the body. So that is why piperine from black pepper is so important in this warm water, honey and lemon mixture. And now let's talk about honey. Honey is one of the most sattvic foods found on this planet. It is loaded with the healthy fructose sugar, which is the natural fruit sugar. It also has trace quantities of minerals and vitamins present in it. It is also readily digested by the body. In fact, honey is one of those first few foods which is fed to a baby once the baby starts getting weaned off mother's milk. In fact, it is usually said in Ayurveda about honey that honey is that one food which gets digested first and then tasted later. That is why it is usually fed to the babies, because it is so simple and so easy to digest. A baby can just taste honey and the honey gets digested so easily just like that. That is why we say when a baby eats honey or tastes or consumes honey, the honey gets digested first and then tasted later. So it is so easy to get digested. Now, no doubt somebody might argue that honey only has trace quantities of minerals and vitamins present in it. But you need to understand that when you get into the habit of consuming honey first thing in the morning, every day, that too on an empty stomach, what happens is that you are inculcating a daily habit. So a regular consumption of honey on a daily basis ensures that you are getting this regular supply of minerals and vitamins, although they might be present in trace quantities, but a regular supply and a regular consumption of these minerals and vitamins will ensure that your body does not have to suffer from a deficiency of these essential minerals and vitamins. The second most important thing to understand is that the first thing in the morning on an empty stomach which you are consuming is your honey. So your body is already in a fasted state and it is ready to gobble up anything that you give it. So you can give it cakes, muffins and bagels if you want, or you can give it something healthy like a warm water filled with honey and lemon. Whatever you provide your body with at this stage, right in the morning on an empty stomach, the first thing in the morning, your body is just going to gobble it up. It can be something unhealthy like junk food, or it can be something healthy like a tall glass of warm water with honey, lemon and freshly ground black pepper. So a regular consumption of honey in the morning on an empty stomach ensures that your body is going to gobble up and absorb all the essential vitamins and the minerals which are found in honey. Plus, you are already adding a pinch of that freshly ground black pepper, and like I told you, black pepper is loaded with this essential bioactive ingredient known as piperine. And piperine has this amazing ability to enhance the bioavailability of other bioactive molecules and compounds in whatever you are eating. So, honey has got trace amounts of minerals and vitamins, and all of them get readily absorbed in the cells of your body because of the piperine which is found in the black pepper, because piperine enhances the bioavailability of all these vitamins and minerals. No doubt they might be present in trace quantities, but the piperine ensures that all these vitamins and minerals get fully absorbed into the cells of your body, no matter how trace their quantities might be in the honey. So ultimately, more bioavailability of this energy, this prana and the other bioactive compounds and molecules, ultimately this enhanced bioavailability of this energy and the other nutrients in the cells of the body, or this enhanced bioavailability of this energy and these other nutrients to the body at the cellular level, means that there is less inertia in the body. Less inertia ultimately leads to more energy and more vibrance, more vitality in the body, more alertness, more awareness, more consciousness and more mindfulness, which will lead to better sadhana and a better experience as far as your spiritual practice is concerned. So, taking care of your food and a few other things is as important as doing your sadhana or your spiritual practice. Being disciplined about your food and understanding and knowing what you are putting inside your system is important. It is as important as your sadhana.
The idea is, if you take this neem and turmeric combination early in the morning and drink something warm, it cleanses the stomach in a big way. If there are any minor infections in your stomach, it'll go away. And it also kills the cancerous cells in the body. When I say cancerous cells, it is not that you must be, diagnosed as having cancer. All our bodies have cancerous cells. Only when this percentage of cancerous cells goes beyond a certain percentage, only then it becomes a disease. Otherwise, every one of our body has cancerous cells, and how many of them are there decides your health status in many ways.
We just got done with our morning practice sessions and headed for the brunch.
The way that we sit in the hall is we sit cross-legged and we eat with our hands. By eating with the hands, you really create that connection with your food before it even goes into your mouth. Another aspect of how we eat in the hall is we eat in silence. It really helps you be more conscious and aware. And why this is important is because I've become more aware of how my body is while I'm eating. In situations back at home or watching TV while eating, you put your hand into the bag of chips and all of a sudden there's no more chips left. But when you eat this way, consciously, you can better feel the sensations in your body and to know when to stop.
Here at the ashram we have 2 meals a day. After introducing this diet, I've seen some changes in the way I do my practices. My sleep quota has gone down quite significantly. The Sadhguru says there should be at least 8 hours gap between the first and second meal. I can definitely see that it has worked.
So, a little change in the setting because I had to get some green tea for myself. Something which really helps me to extend my fast as I'm talking about fasting today. So if you can space out your food in such a way that you can have a time gap of minimum 6 to 8 hours between 2 meals of yours in a day, then you will realize that most of your cancerous cells in the body are going to die. Will all of them die? No. Some of them will eventually learn how to lie low, and some of of these cells might be tougher than the others and they may not die. In such a situation, twice a month we have got Ekadashi for you. And now even the modern day Western scientists are beginning to agree with this simple philosophy of fasting, which has been propagated by our Ayurveda for thousands and thousands of years. By fasting, I don't mean that you have to fast for 8 to 15 days and then eventually kill yourself. No, what I am trying to say is that you have your evening meal today, and then your next meal should happen the next day in the evening. That is how I want you to practice this simple philosophy of fasting. You will eventually realize that most of the cancer cells in the body will begin to die. Once again, will all the cancerous cells in the body die? No. Some of them will learn how to lie low. But what I am saying is that these cancerous cells will not be able to multiply vigorously, and then they will not be able to gang up in one place and create an ailment in your body.
It's not just about the type of food and how many times you have food, but it's also about the healing and cooling properties of the food. It changes accordingly to the weather. Everything is put together to create the right kind of balance.
During the training in the afternoon, we're also taking a soup.
In the afternoons, they will give you what is here locally called as kollu, and the English came here and named it as the horse gram. So horse gram soup they will give you in the afternoon. You drink horse gram soup, and horse gram is one among the lentils. It is the most protein-rich lentil found on the planet. It's very high-powered, so that's why race horses are fed with this gram, which is called as horse gram today. Now, this will increase heat in the body.
From my experience of taking this during this training, I would say that I never get sick like fever, cold.
I can better tell what my body needs. Sometimes I feel like eating more raw food. Depending on how much energy I've exerted, I'm able to tell better because I'm eating in this conscious manner. I've definitely never enjoyed eating food this much. It's definitely a different way of eating.
So in this video, we have learned 3 very essential principles for maintaining good health. The very first principle is to make sure that we are not overeating. If you are somebody who is a fully grown adult, then you need to understand that 2 meals a day will suffice. And maintaining a time gap of minimum 5 hours, or if ideally possible 8 hours between your 2 meals is the best way to go. Because in that way you can ensure that every meal that you consume is consumed on an empty stomach when your body is really feeling biologically hungry and not emotionally hungry from here. So every time you eat food on a stomach which is genuinely asking for food, you will realize that you will be able to digest your food better, assimilate all the nutrients more efficiently, and also be able to excrete all the toxins effectively from the body. And your body will not be spending large amounts of energy on just digestion, and there will be so much more energy in your body for other day-to-day bodily activities. You will feel this vibrance, this vitality. There will be this surge of energy inside you. You will feel so recharged and revived, more alert and more aware. This in turn will help you to concentrate better on your sadhana or your spiritual practice. So that's number 1. Maintaining a time gap of 5 to 8 hours between your food, between your 2 meals in a day. The second thing which we have learnt about is inculcating this healthy habit of having neem and turmeric every morning on an empty stomach with a lukewarm glass of honey with water. Or alternately, you can have a glass of warm water with honey, lemon, and a little bit of freshly ground black pepper, which also works equally great in enhancing the bioavailability of prana or energy and other nutrients in your body, making all these things more and more bioavailable to the cells in the body, making this energy available at a cellular level so that your inertia levels can go down and you can start feeling more vibrant from the inside out. And the third thing is kurit or horse gram, one of the most underutilized and underrated lentils of India. And like Sadhguru also said in the video, it is that one lentil which is most protein rich. It is so protein rich that it is actually fed to the horses, and that is where it derives its English name from. It's literally called horse gram for this reason, because it is the food of horses. It is so protein rich. A regular consumption of kurit or kurit soup will ensure that your immunity stays up, you're falling less sick, your immunity is boosted on a regular basis, and because of more protein content in your diet, you will feel less and less hungry because your body needs more time and energy to digest protein compared to the other macronutrients like carbohydrates and fats. You need more time and energy to break down protein and assimilate the amino acids which are derived from protein. And because horse gram is so rich in protein, it gives you all the essential amino acids which are required by the body. Essential amino acids are the ones which cannot be synthesized by the body, and they need to be provided by your diet. And kurit is that one dal, horse gram is that one lentil which can provide you all these essential amino acids in the required amounts as they are required by your body. So when you consume a diet which is protein rich, which has more protein, it automatically means that your body is going to take more time to break down that meal, and it is going to take more time to digest that food. The more time you take to digest food, the lesser you will feel hungry. So sometimes what happens is that when you consume simple carbs, they're just broken down so quickly, and suddenly there is a spike in your blood sugar. Once there is a spike in your blood sugar, all of that blood sugar is quickly removed from the bloodstream by the insulin, and it goes into storage mode. It is stored in your muscles as muscle glycogen, stored in the liver as liver glycogen, and the remaining amount of sugar goes straight to the fat cells in your belly, and you become fatter and fatter. And then once that blood sugar goes down because of all that insulin, you start to feel hungry very soon after consuming that meal, and then you start wondering why you are feeling so hungry all of a sudden again. It's all happening because of consumption of so many simple carbohydrates. So we have to shift our focus from simple carbohydrates to complex carbohydrates, and more importantly the proteins, because the body needs a lot of time to break down protein. And then after breaking down the protein, it needs more time for the assimilation of these amino acids which are derived from the protein. Naturally, when your body takes so much time to break down that meal, and when it takes so much time to absorb and assimilate all these nutrients, there is a very gradual rise in your blood sugar. And because there is such a slow and a gradual rise in your blood sugar, you will feel satiated or satisfied for a longer period of time. And because there is not a sudden spike and there is not a sudden drop in your blood sugar, It will also ensure that just like there is a gradual rise in the blood sugar because your body needs more time to break down that protein rich meal, there will also be a very slow and a very gradual fall in the blood sugar. It works both ways, and in that way you will realize that you feel satisfied for a longer period of time, and you will naturally feel less hungry, or I can say that you will start to feel hungry for your next meal after a long period of time. This will further enable your body to go for long periods of time without consuming your next meal, or without consuming a snack, or without consuming any more food. This will allow you to be able to stick to your intermittent fasting regime of 16 to 8. 14 to 16 hours of fast followed by a strict 8-hour of eating window, and within this 8-hour of eating window you can have your first meal around 12 o'clock in the afternoon and the second meal around 8 o'clock at night, without really feeling very hungry in between, because both your meals are so protein rich. So try to consume more of horse gram in your meals, especially in your afternoon meal, because in that way you can ensure that you can go for long periods of time without feeling aggressively hungry and without feeling these constant urges to snack on something which might be unhealthy. In the end, all that I would like to say is that taking care of your food and a few other things is as important as your spiritual practice. Being disciplined about your food and your eating habits, and taking care of what you are eating, taking care of what you are putting inside your stomach, is as important as your sadhana. Always remember that your physical health is as important as your mental, emotional, and your spiritual health. And in fact, your physical health directly impacts your mind and your emotional and your spiritual health. So always make sure that you are taking care of this body, because this body is a precious gift to you by nature. See you next time with a brand new video on health, yoga, and meditation. I love you all.